Science. This week, we're going to be exploring sort of a range of topics: evolution, biodiversity, and population ecology. This content is laid out for you in Chapter 3 of your textbook, and I have some supporting resources on this content page to help you move through that material, starting with a list of learning objectives, some terms that I recommend you convert to flashcards so that you can learn them. And then I have some resources to help you learn some of the content about evolution on this tab. This is an awesome Amoeba Sisters video about natural selection. And then this video highlights the origin of a new species of salamander in California through natural selection. There's some resources here about biodiversity, and then this is a great video about population ecology that will supplement your reading, specifically pages 59 through 65 from chapter 3. So these resources are here to help you get to know the material. We have a discussion this week about natural selection. So I'm asking you to describe natural selection in your own words. It's a difficult concept. That's why we're focusing on it in this discussion. Talk about how it operates and the role of mutation in natural selection. That's something that I see a lot of confusion about. So we're just going to make sure we've got this right. And then you're going to tell us about whether you believe natural selection affects humans in our society and why or why not. And I have some resources here that may be useful in supporting that portion of your post. So please make your initial post in this discussion by Wednesday and then respond to your peers by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. This week's lab is about population ecology, specifically plant population ecology. So you're going to go out and you are going to measure a plant population. So this requires some materials. I think you're going to need access, either print the protocol out on this tab or perhaps bring a mobile device out so you can read it in the field. You're going to at least need to have a hard copy of this data table so that you can record data when you're out in the field. You are going to need a meter stick, or maybe you just like measure a string that's a meter in length, a measuring tape that measures in metric, or you could just measure a string that measures 10 meters in length and put a little tick mark at each meter. You're going to need access to a random number generator, and I have a hyperlink to one in the protocol, so you might need to bring your phone. You're going to need 4 objects to delineate plot corners. They could be pine cones or rocks you find in the field, and then 20 objects to delineate your sampling area. Your sampling area is going to be 10 meters by 10 meters, so that's why you need that 10-meter measuring tape or string. And you're going to just throw down a pine cone or a rock every meter along this axis and this axis. You're going to use these 1 through 10 meter spots to help you find random locations to sample. So using your random number generator, you might get the numbers 1 and 7. That means you'll walk to 1 meter on the x-axis, 7 on the y, and then sample right there. You're going to sample in 1 meter by 1 meter square plots. And basically, in your plot, you're going to just count the number of individuals of the specific plant species that you're going to focus on. After you collect the data, you're going to come back in the house. So this needs to be done outside in maybe a natural area, or you could even do it in your lawn. After you're done, you're going to do some data analysis. I walk you through the data analysis here, and then you're going to answer these 6 questions. So back to the assignment page. So what I'm looking for is a picture of your sampling plot, a picture of your completed data sheet, and then the answers to those questions. So that's this week's plant ecology lab. I do have a practice quiz in here about chapter 3. to help you get ready for the graded quiz, which is also in the week 3 module. And then there's 2 more things in this module. So your first lab report is due on at the end of week 4 or March 16th. So this is where you're going to eventually turn that in. And there's a whole bunch of resources here for you. The guidelines for the assignment, a sample lab report that I wrote. Here's a lab report resources page. And then there's also a grading rubric. So there's a lot of tools to set you up for success on that assignment in the assignment page. You don't need to turn this in this week, but this week we are going to, I set up a small group discussion. So the class has been split up into 5 groups. So you are either in a group of 3 or 4, and you are going to paste a draft of your first lab report. So this is about the lab that you did in week 1, where you grew seeds at different salinity concentrations, and you recorded germination and seedling length over time. So I'm asking you to write a lab report following the guidelines that are on the lab assignment page that we just looked at, using that sample report and using the rubric. And I'm asking you to upload it here. So I'm asking you to do that by Wednesday of this week. So by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Then I want you to come back and I want you to read the reports that your peers have posted and copy and paste this grading rubric into a response to their post and give them some feedback. So right in here, I want you to write some comments about their title. Is it clear, concise, and does it accurately describe the 3 elements of the study? It's subject, dependent variable, independent variable. So give them some feedback on all of these areas. And please don't just give them full points for everything. Try to give them some constructive feedback about how they can improve, 1 or 2 of these areas of the rubric. So that is the last component of the week 3 module. So this is a peer review. You need to post a draft of your report here by Wednesday, and then visit the discussion later in the week, read one of your peers' lab reports, and give them feedback. This is a tool to help you get to know the rubric better because you're actually going to be using it. So maybe after you're done, you're going to want to make some edits to your own lab report before you turn it in on the 16th. And hopefully you get some really great advice from one of your peers about how you can improve it as well. So to kind of summarize things, this week we're studying evolution, biodiversity, population ecology. We've got some content here to help you work through chapter 3. Make sure you participate in our natural selection discussion initially by Wednesday, and then again towards the end of the week. Our population ecology laboratory is going to require some supplies, and that you have access to a natural area during daylight hours. We've got a practice quiz in here to help you get ready for the chapter 3 quiz. This is not due until March 16th, but it's just here to get you ready for the lab report peer review small group discussion, where you're going to be posting a draft of your lab report for peer review. As always, please let me know if you have any questions